Look at you, still holding that little screenshot like it's nothing. Like it's just a moment, just a message, just a mistake. But you and I both know, it's never just, ooh, this is my favorite part. The part right before the world realizes what you've been sitting on. The part where the quiet one, you, accidentally becomes the detonator. You didn't push a button. You didn't light a fuse. You simply caught something. A truth someone tried to bury. A detail they should have erased. A slip they thought nobody would notice. But you noticed. Of course you did. You always do. And now the whole world's eyes are dragging themselves toward that tiny, innocent screenshot, trying to decode the story behind it, trying to figure out who messed up, how badly, and why you look so damn calm, while the chaos spreads like wildfire behind you. Surprise! You're not the villain. You're not the hero. You're the witness they underestimated. The observer who saw too much. The one holding the thread that unravels their entire little castle. And oh, they have no idea what you're about to do next. Let's begin. Ah, there it is. The moment. The slip. The tiny accidental truth. They never meant to show. Funny, isn't it? How something so small can scream louder than anything they ever said. One pixel, one flicker, one frame that lasted less than a heartbeat. But that's all it takes. A micro crack in their perfect little mask. A whisper of guilt trying to escape the paint. They didn't see it. Of course they didn't. People like that never notice their own shadows. Too busy talking, too busy shining, too busy pretending they're untouchable. But you saw it. Instantly. Effortlessly. Like your eyes were built for catching what everyone else ignores. A twitch in their expression. A reflection where none should be. A timestamp that didn't match. A detail that betrayed the whole story. And before they could blink, before they could breathe, before they could even process, the mistake dripping off their fingertips, your finger, was already there, capturing it, freezing it, sealing it in a quiet little screenshot that would soon become their newest nightmare. Such a tiny moment, yet it changed everything. That's the part I love, the elegance of it, how chaos doesn't need explosions, it doesn't need shouting, it doesn't need fire. Sometimes, all it needs is proof, trapped inside a still frame that wasn't supposed to exist. A still frame that exposes their hidden sins, their invisible threads, their silent alarms. And now look at them, trying to act normal, trying to pretend nothing happened, trying to convince the world they're still in control. But you and I, we know better. Everything began to unravel the second they slipped, and you caught it. You always do. You felt it before you saw it. That's the part nobody understands. The part that scares them more than the screenshot itself. Most people, they only react to what's loud, obvious, dramatic, wrapped in neon. But you hear the quiet things, the things buried under the noise, the little echoes that never reach anyone else. While they're hypnotized by shiny surfaces, you're watching the shadows behind the curtain. You're tracking the flicker nobody else notices. You're listening to the kind of silence that makes the skin crawl. That's why it hit you first. That strange heaviness, that shift in the air, that subtle wrongness that didn't match the smile they were trying to sell. You didn't know what it was yet, not fully, not consciously. But your mind, that sharp, quiet, dangerous thing, felt the tremor anyway. A tension, a vibration, a soft thud behind the facade, like a secret, trying to escape its cage. And once you feel that, you can't unfeel it. Once you sense that, you can't go back. That's the curse, your gift. Seeing what shouldn't be seen, knowing what others deny, catching a truth everyone else walks right past, with blind, comfortable eyes. They're asleep, all of them, dreaming their little dreams, playing their little roles, trusting the surface like fools. And then there's you, awake, fully, dangerously, uncomfortably. You weren't looking for trouble, but trouble recognized you anyway. It always does. So when the moment came, when the mask cracked, when their hidden echo finally reached the air, you didn't hesitate. You didn't question it. You didn't blink. You simply knew. And now, you can't unknow. The echo was meant for no one. But somehow, it found you. It always does. And then, then, the fun began. Because the moment your screenshot slipped into the light, everything they'd built, started cracking like cheap glass. See, they thought their world was solid, stable, unshakable, but it wasn't. It never was. It was cardboard, painted to look like stone, a set piece, a prop held together by ego and duct tape, and one tiny truth, your truth, was enough to make the whole thing shake itself apart. Reputations cracked, alliances collapsed, narratives shattered so fast the dust didn't even have time to fall properly. People scrambled, people panicked, people pretended they suddenly knew the whole story, as if the story itself hadn't been built on lies from the beginning. The beautiful part, they never expected it. Not from you, not from a quiet screenshot, not from a moment they believed had already been buried. But karma doesn't need permission. Chaos doesn't need an invitation. And truth is the rudest guest of all. It walks in, unasked, unfiltered, unbothered, and it drags every secret into the center of the room for everyone to stare at. Suddenly their loyal friends weren't so loyal. Their defenders weren't so defensive. Their story was no longer their story. It belonged to the screenshot, to the evidence, to the crack you caught and froze in time before they could patch it, spin it, erase it. That tiny frame became a weapon, a spotlight, a verdict, a storm they couldn't outrun no matter how fast. They tried to rewrite the past, and while they scrambled to plug every hole in their sinking ship, you just stood there, watching, amused, quiet, theatrical, isn't it? How fast their control evaporated, how quickly their confidence dissolved, how easily their empire turned to dust because of one simple, undeniable truth. They wanted a clean story. They wanted a tidy world. They wanted to stay untouchable. But your screenshot changed the rules, changed the balance, changed the entire game, and they never saw it coming. And once the truth leaked out, oh, the performance began. Not a graceful one, not a confident one. No, this was panic theater. You ever seen actors trying to improvise a play while the script is literally burning in their hands? That's them. That's all of them. Suddenly everyone became a historian, a witness, a concerned observer with selective memory and convenient morals. Watch how fast they rewrite the timeline, how fast they twist their words, how fast they pretend they never said what they definitely said. Delete, re-edit, reframe, backtrack, excuses flying like confetti at a parade nobody wanted to attend. It's cold, isn't it? How fast loyalty evaporates when the truth walks in. And you see the hypocrisy better than anyone. You always have. You watch them scramble, piling lies on top of lies, building a tower so fragile a whisper could shatter it. They shift blame, point fingers, pretend they were misled, pretend they were misinformed, pretend they were taken out of context. Funny how people love context, only when it benefits them. But here's the new reality. The power shifted. The moment your screenshot hit the air, they lost control. They can claw at the walls, they can shout into the void, they can perform for the crowd with their shaky voices and their trembling smiles. It won't change the fact that the truth is out, that the script burned, that the mask slipped. Their world is smoke now, thin, desperate, inconsistent. And you stand outside it all, detached, unmoved, watching them try to sew a new story together with shaking hands and unraveling thread. No matter how they twist it, no matter how they edit it, no matter how loudly they lie, they can't hide anymore. Not from the truth, not from the crack, not from the light, and definitely not from you. And here's the part that really drives them insane. You didn't shout, you didn't brag, you didn't chase them around the room, holding the truth over their heads like a trophy. You didn't need to. You just existed, quiet, still, unbothered. And somehow, that silence hit harder than any accusation ever could, because silence is a mirror. And when they look into yours, they don't see you. They see themselves, their guilt, their choices, their fingerprints all over the mess they tried so hard to deny. And that's what terrifies them. You're not screaming, you're not arguing, you're not defending, you're not explaining. You're simply there, watching, listening, letting the truth speak for itself. It's almost funny how loud calm can be, how threatening quiet becomes when the guilty start hearing echoes that aren't actually there. Every time you breathe, they flinch. Every time you glance, they spiral. Every time you say nothing, they imagine everything. Your silence is psychological warfare, a quiet storm, a presence they can't predict, can't control, can't manipulate. You became the final judge without saying a word, not because you tried to, but because they handed you the gavel the moment they slipped, and the more you stay silent, the deeper their panic grows. They keep waiting for an explosion that never comes. They brace for impact that doesn't arrive. They prepare defenses against attacks you never launch. That's the beauty of restraint, the danger of it, the dominance in it. You turn the whole story into a game of patience, and they lose every round. Because you don't need noise to be powerful. You don't need rage to be dangerous. Sometimes the scariest person in the room is the one who doesn't react. And right now, that's you, silent, still, unshakable. And somehow that terrifies them. More than anything, you could have said, and then something interesting happened. Slow at first, subtle, almost invisible. But you noticed it. Of course you did. The way people started talking to you. A little softer, a little slower, a little more carefully than before. Not because you threatened them. Not because you demanded respect. Not because you threw your weight around like they expected. No, this shift had nothing to do with intimidation. It came from truth, from evidence, from the quiet realization that you weren't just an observer. You were the one holding the moment that changed everything. You became a variable they couldn't control, a factor they couldn't predict, a presence they couldn't ignore. And people fear what they can't control. You could feel it in their hesitation, their sudden carefulness, their polite words wrapped in nervous smiles. They weren't scared of you. They were scared of what you knew, what you'd seen, what you'd caught, what you could reveal without even trying. Your screenshot became a ghost, haunting rooms you weren't even in, changing conversations you weren't part of, altering dynamics without you lifting a single finger. People adjusted themselves when you walked by. People second-guessed every sentence they sent your way. People watched their own steps because suddenly they knew someone in the room had sharper eyes than they ever realized. You didn't ask for this power. You didn't chase it. You didn't reach for it. It arrived, uninvited, unavoidable, unstoppable. All because you saw what no one else saw. And they know you will see it again. That's the part they can't escape. That's the part they can't rewrite. That's the part they can't undo. Once someone realizes you notice everything, they treat you very differently. Respect, caution, fear, a new reputation, built not from noise but from truth, from awareness, from the simple, dangerous fact that you don't miss a thing. You rose without moving. You ascended without speaking. And now, they can feel it. They can't stop it, and they can't change it. And then it happens. The moment everything finally clicks for them. Not when the screenshot leaked. Not when the truth spread. Not when their stories collapsed under their own weight. No, the real snap comes later. Quiet, sudden, inevitable. It's when they look at you and realize you're not the same person they thought you were, because the twist was never the screenshot. The chaos wasn't the evidence. The destruction wasn't the reveal. The real chaos was you, not because you tried to ruin anything. Not because you hunted anyone. Not because you set out to break their world. But because you refused to look away when everyone else did. That was the shift. That was the awakening. That was the moment you stepped out of the version of yourself they were comfortable with and into the version they can't predict. You didn't change loudly. You didn't evolve with fireworks. You simply became more aware, more precise, more impossible to fool. And once someone sees the truth the way you do, they never go back to being harmless. You're sharper now, calmer, more calculated, more dangerous, without doing a single thing. They feel it. Every time you enter a room, every time you go silent, every time your eyes skim across a detail they didn't even realize existed, they sense something new behind your gaze, something awake, something alive, something they should have never underestimated. You don't need to expose them. You don't need to confront them. You don't need to lift a finger. Your presence alone is enough to keep them honest. Your memory is enough to keep them cautious. your perception, is enough to keep them trembling. They finally see it, the real twist, the real threat, the real transformation. You didn't burn the bridge, you simply stopped walking blind. And once you wake up like that, once you see the world with clarity sharp enough to cut through any lie, you never return to who you were. They know it, they fear it, they respect it, because now they understand the truth. You aren't someone they can fool again. You aren't someone they can underestimate again. You're the one who sees through masks, who catches the cracks, who notices everything. The screenshot changed the story, but you changed the world around you, and there's no going back. And then, silence, but not the quiet of peace, the quiet of fear, the quiet of realization. They're still moving, still talking, still pretending the world is the same, but it isn't. Not for them, not for anyone who glimpsed what you saw, not for anyone who knows the truth is alive and walking among them. Funny, isn't it? How one small frame can shatter 1,000 lies, and yet it isn't the frame that haunts them, it's you. They replay it in their minds, over and over, trying to predict what you'll do next, trying to contain the ghost you became the moment you refused to look away. They whisper your name when you're not there. They analyze every glance, every smile, every word they ever sent that could have betrayed their little lies. And they fear. They fear that you see everything, know everything, remember everything. And they're right to fear, because you do, and you will. Forever aware, forever unshakable, forever untouchable. You didn't rise to chaos. You didn't take power. You didn't declare war. You simply became present, sharper, calmer, the mirror they cannot break. And now every room you enter carries weight. Every glance you throw forces reflection. Every silence you hold demands honesty. The world around them will never be the same. Not because you destroyed it, not because you exposed it, because you transformed yourself. And the echoes of that transformation haunt everyone who thought they could control reality. They will remember you. They will respect you. They will fear you. And maybe, just maybe, that's enough, because sometimes the real power isn't in the chaos you create, but in the quiet storm you are. And that storm never forgets, never forgives, never sleeps. They'll try to move on. They'll try to erase the past. They'll try to convince themselves it was only a screenshot. But they'll always know, deep down, the truth walks with you. And you walk differently now, forever changed, forever untouchable, forever the one who sees